All right, let's talk about the incredible redemption story of NFT gaming. You probably remember the hype, and you definitely remember the crash. Well, it's back. But this time, it's smarter, it's way more stable, and it's actually built to last. We're going to break down how this is all unfolding in 2025, and why this time, it's a whole different ballgame.
So let me just start with this one question. What if all those hours you pour into a game actually built real-world value? Just imagine that super rare sword you grinded for, or that awesome custom avatar. What if they weren't just pixels owned by a game developer, but were actually digital assets that you owned, like for real, and you could sell them? That's the huge promise at the heart of this whole thing.
Okay, so what are we even talking about when we say NFT gaming? It really all boils down to one powerful idea: true digital ownership. To put it simply, in an NFT game, the stuff you get, your character, a cool weapon, a piece of land, they're all non-fungible tokens, or NFTs. Just think of them as unique, one-of-a-kind digital items. They're secured on a blockchain, which is basically a public ledger that can't be messed with. Now here's the kicker. You don't just rent these items from the game company. You own them. Just like a physical trading card. You can trade them, sell them, maybe even use them in other games down the line. Now, if this is all sounding a little familiar, well, you're not wrong. We've kind of seen this movie before, and let's be honest, it didn't have a happy ending. That first attempt had a fatal flaw. So let's rewind and look at the crash of that first wave and really understand why that whole play-to-earn model was basically doomed from the start.
Back in 2021, games like Axie Infinity kicked off this massive play-to-earn craze. The hype was absolutely everywhere. But by 2022, the whole thing came crashing down. And the reason? Well, the in-game economies, what people call tokenomics, they were just fundamentally broken. They needed a constant flood of new players and new money just to keep the prices propped up. And that's just never, ever sustainable.
And you can see that classic boom and bust cycle right here. A massive spike in 2021, a really painful crash in 2022, and now what we're seeing in 2025 is a much steadier, healthier recovery. But this isn't just a rebound, This recovery is being built on a completely different foundation. So what was the big lesson here? The tech itself wasn't the problem. It was the whole philosophy behind it. These games basically became jobs. The focus was 100% on earning, and the gameplay itself felt like a grind, a chore. The second that new money stopped flowing in, the whole house of cards just collapsed. The problem was simple. The fun was completely missing. But that failure led to a huge rethink, and that sparked what we're calling the play and earn comeback. The new philosophy? It's simple. Fun first.
I mean, the difference here is just night and day. That old play-to-earn model was a job. The game was just a vehicle for earning, which made the whole economy super fragile. But this new play and earn model flips the script entirely. The game has to be amazing on its own. Ownership and earning are incredible bonuses, not the main event. And that's how you build an economy that can actually last.
This is the new mantra. Fun first, token second. It sounds so simple, right? But it changes absolutely everything. If people are playing your game because it's just a great game, then the digital items inside it have real, intrinsic value. The economy becomes a cool feature of the fun, not the entire reason it exists. And hey, this isn't just some theory. It is already working. Right now, in 2025. You've got games like the epic sci-fi adventure Illuvium, the super charming farming sim Pixels, and the deep strategy card game Parallel, all leading the way. They're pulling in players who are there for one main reason. The gameplay is just awesome. So in these new wave games, the NFTs you get aren't just stuck in one spot. They actually represent real, tangible value. Players have that true ownership we talked about, which lets them trade these items on open marketplaces. This creates a super dynamic economy that's actually driven by the players themselves. It's pretty cool. Okay, so 2025 is the big comeback. But what's next? Let's look ahead to 2026 and beyond, because trust me, the next level of NFT gaming is only just getting started. When we look at future growth, it really boils down to three key drivers. First up, major, big-name gaming studios are finally jumping in. Second, AI is going to be integrated in ways that will make these worlds feel incredibly alive. And third, we're about to see totally new economies that are run by the players. And this first one is a huge deal. We're not talking about small indie studios anymore.
We're talking about giants like Ubisoft, the people who make Assassin's Creed, and Square Enix, the legends behind Final Fantasy. They are actively building with NFT technology. And when they make a move, believe me, the entire industry pays attention. This brings massive credibility and, of course, a ton of resources to the space.
And the innovation just keeps coming. Imagine an AI creating unique quests or crafting recipes for you in real time, making the game's economy feel truly alive and unpredictable. Or picture esports leagues where the championship trophy isn't just a symbol, it's a valuable NFT that you own and can prove it. Or streamers earning a direct cut when someone watching buys an item they're showing off in the game. These are whole new ways for players to get involved and to earn. So all of this brings us to that final, really important question. With these new sustainable models, with the big studios finally on board, and with all this incredible new tech on the horizon, are we finally at that moment where true digital ownership changes gaming forever? This time, the answer might just be yes.
Day 2's just the beginning. Subscribe so you don't miss tomorrow's deep dive on how global brands are using NFTs to power loyalty.